Right. Okay, so last class we discussed about security models. If anyone have any questions, please let me know before moving to next topic. Clear?
Clear.
Good. Right. Next topic is validation rule. This is the topic is pending from basic schema or maybe. So validation rule. This is also advanced concept only. So let's see one by one. Already people are knows formula fields, right? Already some people are having some doubts while writing the formulas, and again today also we are going to discuss same kind of formula fields only, but the concept is different, but writing the formula is same whatever we practiced earlier. Let's see, we'll discuss some examples today and we can practice more. Salesforce is provided some document related to validation rule so that you can practice more, right? First of all, what is validation rule? I will show you practically instead of discussing theoretically. Go to accounts, click on new account. If you save the account, see, we'll get some error message or when click on save button. See, once you click on save button, what will happen? Whatever data user is provided in the record level or in the form, when click on save, automatically this data saved into the Salesforce database. Okay, database. Before saving the database, if user is not entered proper value or if user is not entered correct data, then it will throw the error message automatically. Error messages, how it will generate generate the error message means some error messages are defined by Salesforce. Example, field is mandatory. If the field value is not entered, or user is not provided any input of the mandatory field, it will get a error called user must enter a value. These type of error messages are nothing but standard error messages or standard validation rules. Generally, there is a two types of validation rules are there. One is system defined validation rules. Those are standard validation rule. And one is custom validation rules. Those are defined by the user based on the requirement. Now, one more example. Suppose here, see now we can check for this is the website, right? Just you can give the name test. Let's see what will happen. Click on save now. So now enter the name of the account. Just enter any data. Annual revenue, account number also mandatory. We can enter and click on save now. So it will save now. Okay, automatically the protocol it is added, so it will save now. Click on edit now. Now this is the account number, right? Account number, maybe it is a combination of test and number. Maybe I'm going to enter annual revenue some test. By mistake, user is entered some test value. Let's see whether system is allowing or not. Click on save now. See invalid currency. Who is implemented this validation rule? I didn't implement it. How it is getting error automatically invalid currency? Based on data type. Okay, based on data type. While creating field, we are choosing data type, right? If user is not entered any data based on the data type, in case the data is not supported for based on the data type, it will get error message automatically. This error message also nothing but standard error message or standard validation rule. Generally, validation rule is nothing but when user is providing any incorrect data or maybe user is not providing valid data while creating record, then system will throw automatically some error message. That error message we can generate by using validation rule. Okay, what is the advantage for validation rule means we can improve the data quality. So try to avoid or try to user try to avoid the incorrect data to enter while creating record. How to try to avoid incorrect data, or how to control the data to mandatory fields if not entered something, that it will achieve by using validation rule. Example, so everyone knows how to create Gmail account, right? How to create Gmail account. If you while creating Gmail account, suppose you entered first one username. When click on next button, if that username is already used some of the user, it will get a error this username already used. try to use new username, or try to use new username, they will give some random usernames also. Day to day Gmail application also they're improving to give the some suggestions and all, right? So that is one kind of validation tool. Everyone knows how to set up, everyone using internet banking, right? So if you set the password internet banking, the internet banking password, it is having some combination of letters, special characters, some format they're giving. Before setting the password, they will give some help icon to the user. Based on that help icon, what are the inputs we are going to provide, you have to give. Suppose you are not satisfied, you are not giving the password based on that format is not satisfied, it will get error like the password is invalid, or maybe password length is not good, or maybe password strength is too low, or maybe password is incorrect format or incorrect password, something. It will get different types of error messages based on your input. How it will get different types of error messages? It will check the banking application database, and what type of error message they defined, automatically front end user will get the error if user is entered incorrect data. So how we are going to generate these kind of errors in Salesforce means by using validation rule we can achieve. Okay, hope you clear what is validation rule. We need to validate the data before save the database, whether user is entered incorrect data or correct data. How we are going to validate means by using validation rule we can validate. Okay, so this one. So validation rules are two types. One is the system validation rule, that is called standard validation rule, and another one is the custom validation rule, that is something like user defined validation rule. Okay, whatever validation rule as of now we discussed, these validation rules are nothing but field level validation rule. If you want to validate across multiple object data, then validation rules are not supported. Validation rules are always, it is supported for within the object field level validation rule. Either within the object, maybe parent to child, if you want to check parent information in that particular field value, then that it is possible, same as cross object formula. But example, suppose when account field is deleted, maybe account record is deleted, we want to check whether contacts are existed or not. If contacts are present, we want to try to avoid to create a delete a account. Those things and all, it is not possible to control the validation rule. And also these validation rules fire only for when click on save button, save and new button. Okay, when click on these two buttons, then only these validation rules will fire. Other than these buttons, do you want to fire any validation rules, or do you want to generate any error message other than these two buttons? Then what is the other way means, we have to use for code, or we have to use for development. Okay, these are the limitations we have. Right, let's see one by one. Validation rule is nothing but data what user is entered in system as per the business or not, system will validate validate based on validation rules. Okay, and these validation rules fire when click on save and new button. Okay, this one. And also these validation rules will fire when record is created or when record is updated. Okay, but while deleting, do you want to fire any validation rule? It's not supported. Okay, this is. And also by using validation rules, we can validate field level information, not for object level. Okay, so validation rules are two types. One is standard validation rules and the second one is custom validation rules. Custom validation rules. What is the standard validation rule? Standard validation rules are nothing but these rules are defined by the Salesforce. Okay. Example field mandatory, and also based on data type, based on data type example, etc. Okay, so that is the etc. When user is not entered data based on data type, okay, it will get error. When user not provided data, or not provided or entered data based on data type, then it will get a error. These are the standard validation rules. What is the custom validation rule? These rules are defined by the user, is nothing but a custom validation rule. Okay, so while defining validation rule, mandatory fields. Okay, defining validation rule, below fields are mandatory. One is rule name. Rule name is mandatory. Okay, and also we have a active checkbox. Active checkbox, it is not a mandatory, but if it is active, then validation rule will trigger. If it is inactive, validation rule, it is not triggered. And also one more is formula builder. Formula we need to write, and one more is error message. What message we need to display, and error location. Okay, there is a two types of error location we have to generate to display the error message into the layout. Where we are going to display the error message into the layout, that we will discuss. See, if we go to here, see here also one error message is displaying, and here also one error message is displaying. So one is location is the top of the page. Top of the page means here it is showing the error message. Okay, in field level means particular field we are going to validate, means this is the field level displaying error message. Let's see one example so that we can understand. So navigation is go to the based on object, go to the object properties, and click on validation rule. Okay, that also I'm going to mention. Navigation in classic, go to objects, either custom object or standard object, or maybe if you want I will give like this. Setup, build, customize, and accounts. Example, accounts and validation rules. This is the classic. If it is a custom object, setup, build, create objects, open object, and go to validation rule section. Okay, this is. And if it is a lightning same, right? Setup, object manager, and open the object, and go to validation rules. Okay, so this is the navigation for both lightning and classic. So you can practice lightning also, no issues, but open the applications page is same only. The view of the validation rule implementing page is same, both lightning and classic. In navigation is different. If you want, you can use these navigations. Okay, this is something theoretical part of validation rule. Why go for the validation rule, and when validation rule will trigger, and also which buttons validation rule will trigger, and also one more is, so when what type of validation rule it is, and there is a two types of validation rule. These fields are mandatory, and this is the navigation. Now let's see some examples. Example 1. Okay, Let's see one example one. If email field is blank, if email field is blank in contact object, then through the error message, error message, error message. Okay, so this is the validation rule. Customer is asking to build a validation rule when user is creating contact record. If user is not entered email value, then you can through the error message, email field cannot be blank. So that error message is email field is cannot be blank. Let's see. So what is the object name here? Object name is contact. And what is the rule name? We can give the rule name any name. Email validation, email validation. And also formula. If you want to formula, we can write the formula later. And what is the error message? Error message is email field cannot be blank. Okay, what is the error location? Error location, I'm going to use email field. Let's see how to create this validation rule. As of now, if you go to contact record, before going to create a validation rule, go to the contact record, click on new button. Suppose I'm going to create Raju and click on save button. See, it is saved without enter email ID. We are saving the data now. So this is not a valid for business. Okay. So what business is expecting while creating account or while updating account, we want to check whether user is entered email field or not. Suppose you can ask one more way. Instead of writing validation rule, we can make it as a mandatory field, right? We can make it as a mandatory field. If you make the mandatory field for this particular field in profile level, suppose I want to skip this validation rule certain profiles, or I want to display the error message. I want to display the error message as per the business requirement. If you make the mandatory, just we can enter, please enter the value. That is the error message it is showing. But we want to customize the standard error message. We want to customize. See, suppose example, remove the Raju. Click on save now. See, you must enter a value. This is the common message for all the mandatory fields. Wherever mandatory fields are available in layout, if user is not entered any data, this is the message it is generating by the system. Now I don't want to generate this message. I want to generate last name is mandatory or last name is cannot be blank. Do you want to customize the standard error message? Then we can use for validation rules. Okay, so that is the concept of validation rule while go for custom, right? How to create? Go to here. There is here also we have an option called validation rule. And also if you go to setup, what is the standard navigation? Under customize, we have a object called contacts. In that contacts we have a validation rule. Okay, this is the validation rule. Same page it will open either by using force.com quick access menu. See, if you open the object, it will open the force.com quick access menu, and here we can click on view validation rule. It will navigate into same page only. Okay, so here some information is available, not required, already there in my notes. You can refer my notes. So here, this is the validation rule to create a contact object. So here, see, rule name is mandatory. If you are active, this validation rule it will trigger. If you are inactive, this validation rule it will not trigger. Means user is entered or not, system is not going to validate. Okay, now make it true. Formula is mandatory. Error message is mandatory. This is the location of the error message. Okay, let's see what is the name of the rule name. Email validations. Now again, so here come to formula. How you know, how we want to check which function we want to use to validate whether field is mandatory or not, or field is data is available or not, which function we are going to use. Okay, so that we have to think, we have to practice multiple scenarios, then only we can get to know which function we are going to use. Okay, if we are not understanding, then we can check in Google. It will check, or it will show which function we are going to use. Okay, some documents also available. Now blank, How to check blank field name is blank or not, whether user is entered or not, how to validate. There is a function called is blank. So most of the time these are the functions only we are using. Remaining these functions are not using, rare case only we are using. Okay, is blank. Click on is blank. What is the is blank? Is blank expression. So expression is nothing but you have to replace the field name. What field name we need to replace? Email field, right? If is blank email, if user is not entered email value, then it will throw this error message. Think reverse manner. When we are going to generate the error message, when formula is satisfied. If user is entered email data in the contact record page, it will not get error. If user is not entered, this function it will fire this formula. Once this formula is satisfied, it will generate the error message. See now, as of now, no errors are available. So which formula we are going to use is blank. Okay. Now here error message. What is the error message? I'm going to use same error message. Email field cannot be blank. Just enter error message. And where as of now I'm going to display top of the page. Save now. That's it. This is how we can create a validation rule in Salesforce. Now go to the object, open the existing record. It will fire existing record as well as new record. Click on edit. Now save now. See, email field cannot be blank. Now error message is displaying top of the page. Do you want to display this error message corresponding email field? Then go to the validation rule. Click on edit now. Now we can go to field level, select the email field. So in particular field, it will display the error message. That is the error location. Now click on save now. See, email field cannot be blank. So this is the existing record, right? If you go to contact, click on last name, enter again Raju or maybe whatever name, click on save now. It will fire new records as well. It will fire new records or existing records. Hope you clear how to create validation rule in Salesforce, how to generate custom error message by using validation rule. Okay. Any questions in this assignment? In this example? Clear now? This is the simple one.
Clear, sir.
Right. See, next example 2 is okay. When we trigger above validation rule, when new record is created, created and not for existing data, So this is one example. Okay, same example. Next, one more example. Example 3. When we trigger above validation rule, don't confuse above validation rule with this one only. Above validation rule, when updating existing records, not for new records. Okay, both the scenarios we can discuss. So is there any possibility now, as of now, the above validation rule, it will fire both when record is created and updating existing record, right? Now I want to fire this validation rule only for new records. I don't want to fire this validation rule for existing record. How to do that? Is there any possibility? Yes, we can do. Answer is yes. How to do that? So there is a function called is new function. If you use this function, if the function is satisfied, then it will return the object is new, the record is new record. If you are updating existing record, this statement it will return false. If you are creating new record in validation rule, this statement it will return true. If you are updating existing record, this statement will return false. Then how to validate? What is the formula? means here how many functions we are using above validation rule? We are using only one function, so directly we can use for is blank email ID. If you want to validate more than one function, then which function we are going to use? Either we can use for and function, or we are going to use or function. Even it is a if statement, or maybe whatever, wherever it is a C language or wherever, if you want to validate two conditions at a time, then we have to use for and or operation. And means both the statements are true, then it will fire validation rule. Or means any one of the statement is true, it will fire for validation rule. That is meaning of and or. And means both the statements are true, or means any one of the statement is true. Okay, that is. Now what is the formula we are going to use? Let's see. Go to validation rule. Now I'm going to use and function. So here already is there and function. We can use and function. Remove this one. Okay. Now we can enter here like this. So this is how we can enter the formula. If you want, we can do the format if required like this, comma, and if you want to one more function, that is something like is new. There is a three functions we have: is new, is clone also. Cloning is one of the function we have, right? While cloning the record only, we need to fire the validation rule. Then we can use clone option. Otherwise, we can use is new. Just is new. Just check the syntax error. See, there is no any error. Let's see. Click on save now. Otherwise, I'm going email field is cannot be blank while creating new record. New record. Save now. So now go to here. First, I'm going to check with native scenario. Go to existing record. Click on edit. Previously, what happened? If the email field is blank, it will get error. Now click on save. See, there is no any error. It is not filed for existing record. Now, if you go to contacts, click on new button. Now we can create a new data, test contact. Click on save now. See, validation email field cannot be blank while creating new record. Okay, so this is how we can generate a error message only for new records. We can generate error message by using validation rule for new records separately, or we can generate a validation rule by existing records separately. Okay, this is the formula. Hope you clear how to write the formula for firing new records. Just you can add, but you can add either above or below. We can follow any order. Okay, same function I'm going to use here also. Tell me what is the formula. You can think now. Here what we need to change. Any idea? What we need to change this formula to update only for existing record? Any idea? Same formula I want to change something. What we need to change? Think. Already you knows, right? Some
So
functions
we
are
need
there.
use is clone instead of is new.
No, is clone also it is a new record only, right? It's kind of new record only, right?
Okay.
Now we want to update only for existing records. Think this formula reverse manner. I'm giving some hint. What function we need to change reverse manner? Simple. Go to here, validation rule. So here, if you go to here, there is a function called not. Yes, sir. Not function. What is the not function here? Copy the not function. Instead of not before new, we can put the not function, change the logical expression inside the logical. Clear now? So not is new means obviously it is existing record, right? Is new means existing record. What is the opposite word? So it is a not new. Not new means it is obviously it is a existing record. So while updating existing record, save now. That's it. This is the formula. So this is the formula for existing records. Now go to Salesforce. Now this is the new record, right? Click on save now. It will save without email ID. Now it's already saved. Now this record is considered as a old record, right? See, ID is generated. Now you can update the old record. Click on save now. See, email field cannot be blank while updating existing record. If you give the email ID test@gmail.com, then only it is allowing to save like this. Hope you clear. Hmm? Clear now these three validation rules. If you have any doubts, please let me know. Example 4. Right. Create a validation rule. Create a validation rule when understand the concept, understand the requirement when account industry is banking, then account number is blank, then through the error message, this is one error message, dependent error. And also skip this validation rule, skip the validation rule for system admin users. Let's see how to do that. System admin profile users, I want to skip this validation rule. In real time, what happened, right? Suppose the real time we have some if we have any integration. So every day we are getting the data from so maybe Informatica is loading the data into Salesforce every day. Every day Informatica going to update or loading the new data from SAP to Salesforce or somewhere Informatica to Salesforce. So what we need to do in real time, whenever you are creating any validation rule for account object, we want to skip that validation rule for Informatica user. Why? Because while doing integration, while updating the data from third-party system, definitely the third-party user existing in Salesforce, the particular user we want to skip. Why we want to skip? Suppose you are not skip that validation rule. Suppose that data is not satisfied as per validation rule, then it will integration will be failed. So that is the reason in real time most of the projects, whenever you are implementing new validation rule or updating existing validation rule, if that object data is coming from third party system or maybe that object is object data loading from the external system, so you want to skip that validation rule for the particular user. So you can check the data is created by batch CRM user, the data is created by Informatica user, the data is created by SAP integration user, something like that. They're maintaining integration details for user level. So those kind of users we want to skip the validation rule while creating data from those systems. So how to skip the validation rule? As of now, I'm considering system admin user. I'm the system admin user. This validation rule only fire for active users or business users. Now I don't want to fire for IT support users like system admin users. I want to skip this validation rule for system admin user. How to do that? Okay. So what is the object name? Which object you are going to write the validation rule? Account object. What is the rule name? We can give any name. What is the rule name? Account number validations. What is the formula? I'm going to write. Okay. And also what is the error message? What is the error message you want? You can give any account number. Account number cannot be blank if industry is banking. Okay. And also error location. What is the error location? Top of the page. I'm going to use top of the page. Okay, this one. So first understand first one. Before skipping, first you can understand how to write validation rule if how to check the industry is banking and if in account number is blank. Same formula we can use here. Go to account object. Before going to create validation rule, open the validation rule here, view validation rule. Now create an account. Parent account. Account number is mandatory, right? I want to remove that mandatory field. Go to the field accessibility. Yesterday I done, right? Go to the field account. Account. View by field. Go to the account number. Now make it editable. Any profile here. Now remove the required. Save. Now go to account. Just select the industry is banking. If it is empty, save now. It will save. So it is saved. Now what is the error message? If industry is banking, I want to make it account number is mandatory field or account number is mandatory. Now how to do that? Okay, when account number is mandatory, if industry is banking, if other than industry is banking, do you want account number is required? Not required. Okay, that is the validation rule. Click on new button, just enter account number validations, and here write the formula. Two conditions we want to check. First condition is, if you want you can remove this. Now is so now what we need to check? Account number industry equal to banking. Select the industry, equal to, select the equal to, what is the value? Banking. Now comma, what is the next step? Is blank, is blank. What is the field? Insert is blank, field name is account number. Okay, so now we can execute whether error, whether it is satisfied or not. Go to here, see we are getting this error. Field is industry, industry field is a pick list field. Directly it is not possible to use for this function. Then what is the other way? Already people are knows this one at the time of formula. Which function we are going to use to refer pick list value? Any idea? There is two ways we can use for pick list value. We can convert pick list value as a test. That is something like test of pick list value, like this. Just enter check syntax error. There is no error. This is one formula. Otherwise, we have one more formula. What is one more formula we have? Tell me. Is there any one more formula? Sorry, this is not allowed. Okay. Is pick value. Did you remember? So there is a is pick value, right? Pick list value, comma. So that we need to use. Insert, what is the pick list field? Industry. Copy the, what is the value? Banking. Copy this value and paste it here. Okay, remove this value. Either we can convert from test, from pick list value to test. Otherwise, directly we can use for is pick value. Okay, so now this one. Check the syntax error. We have to use comma. So that is the reason it is getting error. Two conditions, right? We have to use comma. See now, no errors. Now what is the error message here? Account number cannot be blank if industry is blanking. Field is account number or top of the page. Just save now. So click on now. Now we can click on save. It will get error. See, account number cannot be blank. If you click on edit and save, it will get a error. Account number cannot be blank if industry equal to something. Just you can enter account number, save now. It will save. See now it is saved. Okay, this is how we can do the validation rule based on one field. We can enter the other field data. Okay, we can make it field as mandatory based on another field. That by using validation rule we can achieve. So here now I am the system admin user. Now still requirement is not fulfilled. Now I don't want to fire this validation rule. Even though I'm removing, click on save, I am the system administrator profile, right? If you go to validation rule, sorry, if you go to users, what is my user detail? My user detail is Chigchala Raju. So what is my profile name? System administrator. I want to skip this validation rule for this system administrator profile. How to skip? Go to validation rule, add one more condition. sorry, one more condition, that is something like, here we have a profile. See here we have object type, so there is a multiple object types also we have, and also organization level. Organization is the one of the object, right? Do you want to check any organization, country, or only particular country people only? We want to skip this one. That you can use either profile, system. This is something like system means custom setting, custom metadata. At the time of development I will use. Now user, specific user or specific role. If you want to skip this validation rule for particular role, then we can use for role, user, some system, custom settings, custom metadata, profile, organization object, or maybe other custom objects here. So as of now, I'm using profile dot name. Okay, profile name equal to system administrator. This requirement is satisfied now? No. Now it will fire for system administrator. How to avoid only for system administrator? Before that, we can use for not symbol. Okay. If you use not symbol, other than system administrator, this validation rule will fire. If you check the syntax error, there is no any error. Click on save now. This is the final formula for validation rule for this requirement. Okay. Hope you clear. This is the formula. Now we can test now. Go to the, I'm the parent now. Even though industry is banking, click on save now, it is saved. See, without entering, it is saved. So while executing any data by using this user, it will not get any error. Now go to users. Now I'm going to log in with manager Mohan. Click on accounts. Manager Mohan is having different profile. So this is Mohan account. Select industry is banking. Now save now, it will get error. So now other than system administrators will get error, but the system administrators cannot get error. So this is something like validation rule to skip from any user or profile. Clear this example? Example 5. Before going to use example 5, see here, dollar is nothing but, even in development also, it is a global variable. Global variable. Okay, variable. And also here how to refer pick list value, pick list field in formula means formula. Why I mentioned formula? In formulas, validation rule, wherever you are writing formula, so you have to use two functions. First one is convert pick list to test field, and then use. Okay, how to use example test of pick list field and then equal to value. Okay, this is the syntax. And next one is use function called is pick value. How to use is pick value, pick list field name, pick list field comma value. Okay, this is. So these are the two functions we are using while referring for pick list values. Okay, this one. Okay, I have a column. Let me check. Okay, right. We can discuss one more example. Let's see. Right, object is account. Simple formula we are going to discuss. Account and rule name is if user is entered more than 40 characters on name, then we can throw the error message. So this is the requirement. I will give the formula, remaining you can practice by yourself practically. Okay, the formula is how to check the particular field. See, custom field, we have a limitation. We can enter limitation. If you go to here, I'm going to log out with the user. Now go to the account. Suppose if you are going to create a test field, click on new button. Now go to test field, click on next. See, we have an option called length. We can enter 40. But here the problem is, I want to control account name. Account name, we don't have edit access. We don't have edit access, and we need to set account name is only 40 characters. If user is entered more than 40 characters, it will get a error. How to do the how to check the whether user is entered 40 characters or not? Simply, we have a function called, we have one function in Salesforce that is something like length field name. Okay, length field name we can use. So what is that? Length field name is account name greater than 40, it will get a error. Okay, that is the simplest formula. Okay, so this is, can you practice this? Can you practice in your arc? You can
Yes, sir.
practice, you can practice. If you have any doubts, I will explain. I will give some assignment. Assignment 1. Object name is lead and the rule name is if lead source is phone and rating is hot, then phone number and annual revenue and email cannot be blank. So while lead source is phone, rating is hot, then these fields are below fields are cannot be blank. What is the below fields? Phone number, annual revenue, and email. This is one assignment. You can check this one. You can write and let me know if you have any issues. Tomorrow we'll discuss if you are not finding any solution. Okay, that is easy only. Go to object. These are all real time only, guys. Real time examples. Opportunity and rule is when new opportunity is created, created and close date is today, today or close date is less than today, then through the error message, this is the valid point. Okay, so through the error message. But here how to check the today function is, we have, so today called, we have one function called today. By using the today function, we can validate whether close date is today or future date or less than today. If it is a less than today, then we can through the error message. If it is a today or future date, then system is going to allow the opportunity to change the close date is today or future date. Okay, so this is the third one. Third assignment is object name is again opportunity, and the rule name is when new opportunity is created with the stage name is not equal to closed one, and the close date is today, then through the error message, and also skip this validation rule for integration profile users. Okay, so this is another assignment. One more assignment. Again, take the object name is opportunity, and the rule name is when amount is modified, and new amount is less than old amount, then through the error message, and skip this error message, to integration profile users. So here two things we have to understand. When user is modified new amount, only when user is modified new amount means only modified particular field. How to check? We want to find this validation rule only when amount is modified. Other than it is not required. Then we have a function called each changed field name. That is something like amount field. This is one thing you have to use in your formula. I'm giving hint. Next one, how to check old amount. So how to check old amount? New amount is, that is something like amount field only. New amount is amount field only. Okay, but what about old amount? Suppose if you want to user change for old amount to new amount, how to hold the old amount in your validation rule? There is a function called period value. Okay, maybe PRIORVALUE. I think period value amount. Okay, now I'm giving old amount function, new amount function. When modified, that is each change, and then we need to skip the validation rule to integration user. Then write this formula in your arc. Hope you clear that above requirement. Right. Next one is object name is account, and rule name is if billing city is Hyderabad, then account name industry is banking, then account number and phone field is mandatory. Phone field is required. Okay, this is the first one. Or if billing city is Bangalore, then industry is banking, then below fields are mandatory. Below fields are required. What are the fields? Account number, rating, phone number, fax details, website, and active. Okay, this one active. Here also we require account number, active. Other active is not required. We cannot require active. Okay. Maybe you can use and industry. So industry is already there, not required. Okay, this is the formula. Think like this is, we need to use two functions. This is one and function, this is another and function. These two same field we are checking, billing city. So how we are going to check? Some tricky is there. We can try to write the formula. If we have any doubt, we can discuss. Here functions are only and or function only. And or function. Other than we can use for is blank. That's it. Is blank, is pick value. Only these things are using here. Let's try to understand this requirement and complete. Okay, this one. And also if we go to Salesforce validation rules, just enter here. See here, you can go for say define validation rule. We have a document provided by Salesforce. See now, here we have different types of validation rules we have. Maybe we can go to Salesforce validation rules examples so that it will get examples of validation rule. Directly we can get a website. See, these are the validation rule. Simple account validation rule and a simple call center validation rule. See here, multiple validation rules we have. So each validation rule, this is the rule name, this is the description, what is the purpose, this is the formula, and here we are using for error message and zip code. So try to practice at least a few related to account, contact, and data validation rules, and then you can get to know how to write the validation rule. While practicing, if you have any doubt, if you are not understanding any examples, then let me know. I will explain. Okay. If more examples, please refer below link. Below link. Okay. This. So hope you clear what is validation rule. Please complete this assignment for next class. Maybe I'll try to ask someone to share your screen and show me whether you implemented or not. Okay. So this concept is very important in real time. First to practice my examples, whatever we discussed, and remaining assignments you have to complete. Okay. And maybe tomorrow is no session. I'm planning to go for office, and I have a calls for deployment calls in late evening. So maybe tomorrow I'm not going to take the class. Okay. Maybe I'll continue on Friday. So as of now, guys, basic setup security model is completed. So I'm giving 1 day extra to practice this validation rules. We have to practice at least some account related validation rule, contact, data, opportunity, and case validation rules in this document. And also you have to complete this assignment rules by tomorrow. Day after tomorrow, definitely I'll pick someone and I will ask to share your screen, and you can show me whether how many validation rules you practiced, and at least you can educate to me. Okay, or you can explain to me. Right. So tomorrow no class because of I have